guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jereka. If you are new here, hey girl, hey boy, hey. If you are returning, thank you so much for coming back. In today's video, I will just be doing a life update. I have been living in Charlotte, North Carolina for 6 months now. And people ask me all the time, like, how do you like Charlotte? Are you dating anyone? So I will actually be answering some of those questions in this video. So the number one question that I get all the time is, why did you move to Charlotte? If you are not aware, I actually moved here from Raleigh, North Carolina, and I actually do plan to do like a Charlotte versus Raleigh video later, but for now, just to explain why I left Raleigh. I lived in Raleigh for about 6 years, and I'm not even gonna lie, Raleigh is home. I really enjoy my time there, but I just feel like it was time for a change. Plus, I kind of went through a little breakup, and your girl was heartbroken, and I just really had to get the heck up out of there, okay? So I kind of planned my exit very last minute. I had decided, I think it was like a week before or 2 weeks before I actually moved, that I was gonna pack up and just move to Charlotte. I thought about moving like out of state, but I wanted to stay pretty close to my family. I didn't want to go too far. In Charlotte, it's like the perfect distance. It's not too far out, but it is far at the same time. So I ended up deciding on Charlotte. Honestly, I had been talking about moving to Charlotte for a while, but I kind of just always stayed in Raleigh, and I was flourishing in my career there. I had friends there. My family lived close to there, and I was just very content. But I decided, to make myself a little uncomfortable and do something that was outside of my norm, which was moving 3 hours away. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pray about it, and if God said go, then go. And he said go. So I'm here now, and I've been loving it since moving here. Do I regret it? No, I don't regret it at all. I actually love living in Charlotte. I feel like moving here has helped me grow so much. And it also has challenged me, because I've never lived this far away from my family. So it's challenged me to learn how to do like a lot of different things on my own. So I feel like I needed this chapter in my life, and I'm looking forward to what's in store for the remainder of my time here. So yeah. So as far as how I'm liking Charlotte, I moved here in July 2023, and I moved here during the summertime. So I got to experience a little bit of summer Charlotte, and honestly, y'all, I had the time of my life. Okay, it was the best summer that I've had in a very long time, and I'm not even like over exaggerating. I was really outside, okay? And when I lived in Raleigh, I was always in the house. I was never doing too much. There was honestly never too much to do. There wasn't really no moves. The most I could do was actually just go to like Glenwood or a couple bars on Fayetteville, but other than that, it really wasn't much to do. But when I moved to Charlotte, when I moved here, I was outside, baby, trying different restaurants, trying different bars, trying different fitness classes. Just a whole bunch of events and stuff was going on. I started following a whole bunch of different Charlotte Instagram accounts that posted like things to do. And I would just see what was going on. And if I saw something that I was interested in, I would hit up my homegirl who actually lives here, and we would be outside. So this past summer, I actually had a ball. I really enjoyed myself, and I can't wait until next summer. Like, I'm ready for it to get hot. Bring the heat back, because that's when everybody is outside in Charlotte. So when I was thinking about moving to Charlotte, I actually did a lot of research, because moving to Charlotte is something that I have wanted to do for a very long time. So I did a lot of research. I kind of like knew the areas already. I had an idea of where I wanted to move. So I started looking for apartments in that area. I use apartments.com, which is a free app that you can download if you have an iPhone or Android. I believe it's free for both. I know it's free for iPhones. I'm not sure about Androids, but it's a free app. You can download it. Or I believe they also have a website. You can go to the website and just put in, your budget and what type of apartment you're looking for, whether it's a 1-bedroom or a 2-bedroom, and just filter through and just see, what you're interested in. And that's actually how I found my apartment. I kind of waited until the very last second to decide to move. So when I found my apartment, I called, I got a little bit of information, and she did like a virtual tour, which was very helpful because I was able to see my exact unit before signing. I didn't come do a in-person tour, unfortunately, because at the time I was living 2.5 hours away. And like I just said, it was very last minute, so I really didn't have the time to come all the way to Charlotte to tour in person. So the virtual tour was very helpful. My apartment so far, I love it. I did sign with a 1-bedroom, and right now I do feel like it is getting a little tight in here, and I may either move into a 2-bedroom at this exact apartment complex, or I may actually move to another complex in Charlotte, North Carolina. So we will see what happens and what the future holds. So as far as safety, I feel pretty safe where I am. The area that I live in is pretty close to Uptown. I'm probably about 6 or 7 minutes away, and I haven't had any issues. I did do a lot of research before moving here, and I did see a lot of people like complaining about people breaking in cars, stealing cars, and things like that. And I haven't experienced any of that, thank God. Nobody's ever broke into my car, my apartment. Nobody ever tried to rob me or anything like that. So I'm very grateful for that. And I think that I live in a pretty decent area. I don't really see too many people like walking along the street or anything. It's not a lot of homeless people over here, so I don't really feel like, you know, I would have an issue with them, because that is something that I also saw before moving here, that people were saying they were having issues with the homeless community. But the side of town that I live on, I have no complaints. It's pretty decent, it's very quiet, and I think that I chose a good area. So speaking of areas, there are quite a few different areas here in Charlotte. I only have been living here for 6 months, so I'm gonna name just the areas that I'm aware of, but I'm sure there's probably plenty more. But we have the Uptown area, we also have South End, we have South Charlotte, we have North Charlotte, we have Wesley Heights, we have Noda, and I think that may be it. But if you're a Charlotte native, or if you've been here a little bit longer than me and you want to share, just drop it in the comments so that people all know. Or simply just, you know, get on Google and look it up. It's easy and it's free. So yeah, so there are quite a few different areas here in Charlotte. I would definitely advise, if you're thinking about moving here, just do your research to see which area would best fit you. The area that I decided to go with, I did look to see, you know, what exactly was in that area, how close I would be to like Target, how close I would be to grocery stores and things like that. So I did do my research. So again, do your research and just make sure, you know, you find the area that's going to be perfect for you. Moving on to things to do. So I moved here in July 2023, so right at the end of summer. And I'm not even over exaggerating when I say this, but baby, I had the time of my life. Okay, I hadn't had that much fun in the summer since summer 2016, if you know, you know. And I owe it all to my homegirl. So I did have a friend that already lives here. I owe it all to Courtney. She showed me a really good time. I'm not even gonna front. I had an amazing time. We were always doing things, just going for walks, going to the farmers market, going out to eat, going to different events and things like that. I really had a really good time. Like, there's plenty to do here. You should not be bored. You should not be in the house. And if you are a homebody, like, get out and do something. If you don't know how to find things to do, there are Instagram accounts and TikToks that you can actually follow that post like monthly things to do in Charlotte. And I will actually drop those in the description for anybody that's interested. If you're a homebody, get out and do something. Like, I know it's cold right now, but when it warms up, definitely try to get out. Definitely try to put yourself out there and see what's going on in Charlotte. So, but yeah. Speaking of things to do, I am a shopaholic, so it was very important to me to move to a city that had a mall or two. Luckily for Charlotte, they actually have quite a few different malls and shopping plazas here. Just to name a few of them, they have South Park Mall, which is about 25 minutes from Uptown Charlotte, and then there's also North Lake Mall, which is about maybe 15 to 20 minutes from Uptown Charlotte. There's also Concord Mills, which is in Concord, North Carolina, and that is also about maybe 20-25 minutes. It just depends on the traffic, honestly, from uptown Charlotte. And then there's a shopping plaza in South End, and that's probably about 10 minutes from uptown Charlotte. So as you can see, like the malls, the major big malls are actually a little ways out, but I promise you it's worth it. My favorite out of all of those would be South Park Mall. That's my favorite mall. It has like big name designers in there, and then it also has like some of my favorite stores. So that's the mall that I'm always at. But you can also catch me at the shopping plaza in South End because it is very convenient to where I live. And they have Sephora and Lululemon and all those little shops over there too. So yeah, speaking of shopping, there's also a farmer's market here if you're into fresh produce, like myself, and they literally have everything that you can think of as far as produce. They also have a lot of different vendors. One time over the summer I went and they actually offered like a wine tasting, and it was super cute. And for my girlies that love fresh flowers, they always have huge bouquets of flowers for $20 to $25. And when I say huge, I mean like massive. And if you're into like flower arrangements or anything like that, definitely check them out. So the farmers market is pretty close to the uptown area. I believe I drove about 15 minutes, maybe 10 to 15 minutes. Again, it all depends on the traffic. Speaking of traffic, the traffic here in Charlotte can be horrible, okay? Luckily for me, I work from home, so I don't really have to deal with the traffic. But for those of you that do have to commute into the office, just make sure you plan ahead because the traffic can be crucial sometimes. And if it's a rainy day, listen, you need to leave super early because people in Charlotte cannot drive. So yeah, if you are a commuter, just make sure you plan ahead. And if you work from home like myself, just make sure that you are in the house between the hours of, I think the traffic starts to pick up real heavy around 3 p.m. Between 3 p.m. and like 6:30, 7 o'clock, traffic is really bad. So yeah, if you have somewhere to go between those hours, make sure you plan ahead and make sure, you know, if you want to be on time, that you leave early. Because if you don't, yeah, you ain't gonna make it on time. So next is sporting events. So if you're not aware, Charlotte actually is home to the Charlotte Hornets, the Charlotte Panthers, and the Charlotte Knights. So the Charlotte Hornets is Charlotte, North Carolina's basketball team. I heard that the basketball team was actually pretty decent, but Charlotte also does have the Charlotte Panthers, which is a football team. I heard that the football team was not that good this year, so I'm not sure if it's worth going to a game, but it wouldn't hurt just to check them out. Maybe they'll be better next season. And then lastly is the Charlotte Knights. So I haven't been here long enough to know or hear anything about the baseball team. I know baseball season is coming back around, so maybe I'll get to check them out and go to a game. I've always wanted to go to a baseball game and, you know, eat peanuts and get a little hot dog. I thought that would be cute, so I'm excited for the springtime to check them out to see how that is. So next we're going to talk about making friends. So like I mentioned, before moving to Charlotte, I only knew one person here. So when I moved here, it was just me and her for the longest. And then I was like, oh my God, I'm being annoying. I need to make some friends outside of her. So I did put myself out there to meet people. I started going to like different just meetup groups. There is an influencer meetup group that I went to one of their meetings. And then I also did join one of the groups at my church so that I could meet people. And then I also joined the app Bumble BFF, where you can actually create a profile and actually see if you match with different people in the area. And if you do, you guys vibe, you can hang out. So that app actually worked for me. I did meet one of my new friends using Bumble BFF, and she is super sweet. And honestly, she's a Virgo just like myself, and it's so crazy. We have so much in common. It's like insane. But I did meet her through that. I also made friends through social media. I made a friend through TikTok who I'm actually very close with as well. So yeah, just put yourself out there to make friends. If you vibe with them, you vibe with them. And if you don't, you don't. Don't try to force anything. I haven't had any issues with making friends so far, but I do know that a lot of people were coming to me and telling me that they were having a difficult time meeting people here in Charlotte. But me personally, I haven't had a hard time making friends. I kind of made sure I put myself out there. I was very intentional about doing that when I first moved here because I knew that I didn't really know that many people. So making friends hasn't been difficult for me. So yeah, just make sure you put yourself out there. So how is dating in Charlotte? So as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, when I first moved here, I was single and I was kind of like getting over a breakup. So I wasn't too pressed to date. I wasn't pressed to put myself out there. I was kind of just going with the flow. But eventually I did start dating and I put myself out there to meet guys. So I did that by just going out, being outside, of course. And I did meet someone while I was out once. But I also did decide to download a dating app since I am new here. I didn't know too many places where the singles hang out. So I ended up downloading Hinge, and dating was actually fun. But I think dating was fun in the summer because it was hot outside and then I was new. So I didn't know like too many places. So dating gave me the opportunity to get out and explore and have fun with, you know, a potential. But if you are looking for a potential boo or bae, just go outside. I feel like there are so many people out there. Charlotte is a huge city. Like, you can meet someone at the grocery store. You can meet someone at the car wash. Like, you can literally meet somebody just walking through the mall. Like, push yourself out there, go out there to be found, and I'm sure you'll eventually meet someone. Or you can also try the dating app route like myself and see if you can meet your person that way. I have seen a lot of stories of girls like, you know, getting on a dating app and then finding their husband and getting married and all this good stuff. Unfortunately, that didn't happen for me, but you know, I am a hopeless romantic, so I do love seeing stories like that. I can't really speak too much on dating because I feel like I haven't dated enough to actually, you know, give you guys the tea on how it is here. But I have seen a couple of videos where the girls were saying like dating in Charlotte is terrible, dating in Charlotte sucks, whoopity-whoop. But I am a believer in what's for you is for you, and I feel like if you're single, you put yourself out there, you may meet somebody. So don't let these people that's talking negative about dating or about love, you know, discourage you. Go out there and find your boo. So yeah, that's going to be the end of this video, guys. If you want more sit down videos like this, please let me know, and I don't mind doing them. I'm kind of open to any like suggestions or recommendations as far as content because I am a new content creator. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, definitely give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.